Hey, Ray, what do you say on the 10th of May or March? Had to have something that rhymed with Ray. I want you to think of TR, top, right, bottom, left. A protractor goes on the top number from lowest to highest, from left to right. So when you're looking at the top number and you want to find a certain measurement, you're going to take the measurement angle that they give you, and if it's on the number on the top, T, just add the measurement that's given in the problem and move to the right. If it's the one on the bottom, add the number that's given and go to the left, and your students will be able to add both times. The problem that we're going to look at had one like it that only got 30% correct in Texas, because some students struggle with subtraction, number one, and others struggle with protractors because it has two numbers, a top number and a bottom number, that can be very deceiving. So I'm going to show you a different way that you can teach kids the measurement of rays when one ray is given and one angle measurement is given, but you need the position of the other ray. So this is not the way, but as you see, it'll be a way that'll help some of your kids. And I took this from the 2019 test because it says 4.7D in Texas. That's a fourth grade question. And it was from reporting category 3, and only 30% of the students in Texas knew how to do it. So I'm going to show you a different way than I've taught you in the past. So before we think of top and right and bottom and left, think of this. Two rays, there's one of them. We just have to figure out the other one. Big plus little. You're going to take the big angle and you're going to add a little angle. One of them is going to be bigger. The one that it's going through here is 180. The number that's given is 45. So in both cases, the bigger ray is the one that's shown. The bigger ray than the degree of measurement that we need to form with another ray. So the important information is 45 degrees what? A measurement. And I said in a previous video, it takes two people to tango and two rays to angle. And so we've got one ray. So if you think of the acronym, two rays, big plus little, it allows you to add both times, because what it's really meaning is if you're looking at the top measurement, the 100, you're going to go to the right by the measurement that's given, 45 degrees, and you add up what you get, which is 145 degrees. So then you check and see if when you add that 45 measurement from the starting to the ending point if it comes out to 145 degrees on the top when you move to the right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. F. So there is a dot that represents 45 degrees. But in order for it to be to test it the other direction, if you want to check the other direction, then we can go to the bottom and add 45. So since this one is true, then we know that that's the answer. So let's take the bottom number and we're going to add 45 because bottom and then left. So the bottom number is 80. And if I were to add 45, 80 plus 40 is 120, plus 5 more is 125. So they both can't be right. One of them is going to be true. So let's see what happens if I go and add 45. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. There is no letter there. So it's not going to be, I can't pick something that doesn't even have a letter. So the one that worked was the top plus right. So the way that you can test that is you can say, okay, well, let me take the other number and let me, since I know it's F, the bottom number is whatever is halfway between 30 and 40, 80 minus 35, okay? 80 minus 35, it's called checking your work by going backwards. Take away 5 from 0, you can't, so I'm going to borrow a 10. When 10 is borrowed, you get 10 ones. Subtract 5 from 10, you get 5, and then subtract 3 from 7 and you get 4. And there, when you check by subtracting, you get the 45 degrees by moving to the position that we started from by getting the correct answer. So the two acronyms are add both ways first. Top, go to the right, the top number, go to the right by the measure that they give you. Check, there was a letter there. Bottom, go to the left, add to the left by the number they gave you. There was no letter there, so it's not the bottom one. Then the way to check it is you check the bottom one where which number is higher, the 80 or the 35. The 80 is on top, so you take the bigger number and subtract the little number once you've decided that you have the correct letter to double check, and 80 minus 35 is 45. So the degree, whether you check the top or the bottom, is going to be 45 when the ray goes through letter F. The letter F. So what I did was try and trick your students. Letter F says point B. So a lot of your students are going to see that F and pick it because there's an F over there. And I don't want to throw your students off, but I'm afraid the state's going to do that. So you've got to be careful. We're looking at point F, not letter F. So the correct answer would be letter H. Point F is the one that's going to give a measurement. So 2 rays, big plus little. When you add them up by going left and right, top number, go to the right, bottom number, go to the left. and only one of them is going to have the correct corresponding point based on the degrees that you were supposed to move. So in this case, it was the top one. So that's a way to solve this, where hopefully more than 30% can get it right. And that's for those kids that are adaholics. If they don't know how to work backwards, at least they know that one of those is going to work. Either the point is going to be when I move to the right using the top numbers only, or it will be to the left when I use the bottom number on the bottom numbers, the bottom number here, and the measurement that they give me. So that's for your adaholics that don't know how to do difficult operations such as subtraction across zeros. So there you have it. I'm going to share this on my reading wall so that if you're a reading teacher and have math teacher friends who don't know about my Common Sense Math Club, I am a math minor, certified in math up to 8th grade, but I've in-depth studied algebra for the 9th grade test, so I can work with 8th and 9th grade. The only thing that bothers me, I'll be honest with you, about 8th and 9th grade is that you're allowed to use a calculator. And what I've noticed, personal opinion here, is that if you use the calculator too much at the beginning to learn operations that you don't need a calculator, too much calculator now gets caca later. And I don't mean to be gross, but I've just noticed that when I've gone to schools and worked with 8th and 9th grade math students while teachers observe, I'm noticing they don't seem to be able to do simple computations because they've gotten away from paper and pencil computations for so long, they forgot that there's actual ways to solve problems without having to touch a calculator. Share this video with one of your math teacher friends so they can see another way. TR, to raise, top right, BL, bottom left, or big plus little. Just make sure that when you do the reverse, you put the big number first and then subtract the smaller one. That's for checking your work when you're done. So hope you liked it. Take care and we'll see you later. Have a nice day. Hope you liked learning about Ray on the 10th of March.